The OnePlus 13 is here in India, and stop right there. Before you put any more of that, what about the green line issues? Does it come with green line out of the box? Well, OnePlus has had it with these OnePlus has had enough. With the new OnePlus 13 and even with the OnePlus 13R, OnePlus seems to have fixed a lot, including the green line, but that's what they say. Why not dig deep and let's find out what are the upgrades, what are the downgrades, and OnePlus goodies? This is Rupesh, you're watching Sillycorns, so subscribe, hit that bell icon. And yeah, we got a lot of questions, like a lot. So we're gonna answer them. Let's get into detail. So this is the new OnePlus 13 and this is available in 3 different colors in India, and I really like the new black with its wood grain pattern. The white is kind of fine, and then there's the new blue. Now we have the blue, which I'll tell you I did not like much in photos. I was like, another leather back phone, what's special? But turns out I was a complete idiot for judging beforehand, because this has some really nice points about it in the real world. I mean, this has a microfiber based vegan leather back, and that microfiber actually makes a difference because this is so soft, so nice, almost like suede without its dirtying tendencies, hopefully even in the long run. And yes, this feels way more premium than other leather back mid-rangers that I've tested. I also love the texture. It has this embossed sort of look on the OnePlus logo, the Hasselblad branding now out in the open, the connected camera with frame design is gone, and I like that. What I'm trying to tell you is that the in-hand feel is great, just like to expect from a premium phone. It also grabs a lot of eyeballs, which probably wouldn't be the case with its white and the black variant, which, by the way, like I said, I really like. However, there are some mixed feelings. I mean, some people love this new OnePlus 13 design, while some think that the OnePlus 12 was way more premium. I mean, where do you stand on it, or sit on it, or never mind? Now, one thing is for sure, and don't hate me for this, but I was personally getting tired of all the greens, so I definitely like this change, and there are some more design changes. I mean, the camera bump is jutting out a little less, the aluminium frame is flatter, which helps with the in-hand grip. It's glossy though, so it attracts fingerprints. And the screen is now quad curved, similar to recent Vivo and Xiaomi flagships, which is a good thing because it's a very subtle curve and looks and feels great. Yep, all that is great, but the only quirk is that, like the 12, this remains a big phone. I mean, it's not too hefty at 210 grams and 8.9 millimeters. In fact, it's slimmer and lighter than the 12. But yeah, this is definitely not a compact phone. Maybe OnePlus should launch a 13 mini. But should I complain too much when this is packing a crazy 6000 mAh battery, all thanks to the new silicon carbon batteries? And this is good. Maybe I was expecting a lot from this 6000 mAh battery, but I found the battery life to be good and not extraordinary. I mean, this is from last Sunday, where I spent the day taking a lot of WhatsApp group calls from family, playing a lot of Grid Legends, as you can see, along with the usual calls, notifications and whatnot, and the SOT is close to 6 hours, which is good, but the display was set to 1080p, the default, not QHD+, and the refresh rate was set to auto, so you tell me if this battery life is great or good. Anyway, in the box you get this case and the 100-watt SuperVOOC charger, sadly no PD charger again, and this charges the phone to 100% in around 40 minutes. The 13 also has support for wireless charging, and OnePlus sent us this magnetic 50-watt wireless charger with a built-in fan to keep it cool, but there are 2 things I don't like. One, it does not lay flat. I mean, this is probably aimed at gamers, but yeah, I don't like this. Second, this magnetic wireless charger and the magnetic power bank OnePlus is launching only work with these magnetic cases OnePlus is selling, which is, yeah, not as good as MagSafe. Accessories part, OnePlus 13 also fixes a big problem I had with the 12. I mean, a proper flagship without a proper IP rating isn't exactly a proper flagship, but this fixes things. The OnePlus 13 has the IP68 and IP69 rating up from IP65, and I've been giving it a wash at times, and this leather back is fine with all that water. Another upgrade from the 12 is the new ultrasonic fingerprint scanner, which is fast and responsive, and a special mention to the haptics here. I mean, there are haptics everywhere, you can customize it, but the best way to really feel the haptics on this phone is by adding the fingerprint scanner. It's so crisp, so spot on, I love it. I mean, if you really ask me what differentiates a proper flagship phone versus a pretentious flagship phone, that has to be the haptics, and this kind of hits the spot with the perfect vibrations. Wait, what? Apart from this, you do get the iconic alert slider. The USB-C port remains a fast and flagship grade 3.2 port. There is an eye blaster on the top. The stereo speakers are great. They sound very full. Vocals are crystal clear, and even the trebles have a nice separation. There are also 4 mics now, 2 on the top and 2 at the bottom. And the 4 mics are good, very clear, but nothing out of the world or something we haven't seen before. But either way is a very good addition. Next up, the display on paper might seem identical to the 12, but there are some important upgrades which I'll get to. But this is one fantastic display. Very flagship grade upgrade in terms of how it looks. Great colors, very sharp. HDR and Dolby Vision supports movies and shows look awesome. LTPO 4.1 works well, especially with the new OxygenOS 15 animations. The only area where it's kind of okayish is brightness. I mean, 4500 nits is all about bragging rights, and in the real world, it's not bad, it's usable, but it's definitely not the best, as you can see. Now, talking about display upgrades, first, no Gorilla Glass here. I mean, I was expecting Gorilla Glass Armor with its great anti-reflective coating to make its way to more flagships in 2025, but instead, we get ceramic glass, which is said to be more scratch resistant, more drop resistant compared to Victus 2, so not bad. There's also a new glove mode in the screen, which as the name says lets you use the screen with thick gloves, and this actually works. There's also iQOO Touch 2.0, which lets you use the screen when the screen is wet or your fingers are wet. Yep, don't get ideas. But I know what the burning question is in a OnePlus flagship phone. What about the green line? What about the pink line? Let's answer that. So OnePlus has done a few good things. Yes, there's lifetime warranty, which is great. There's the new PVR layer, which acts as a barrier in the display. And lastly, the OnePlus 13 is using BOE displays, which haven't been susceptible to green lines. Now, all of this sounds good, solid, and I'm hoping we don't see any of these lines because it's been just enough now. Now, moving on to the performance, this is obviously packed. The new powerful Snapdragon 8 Elite with the base model featuring 12GB RAM and 256GB storage. There's also said to be a slightly bigger vapor chamber. So, yep, all flagship grade, but like the previous OnePlus flagships, this too seems to have a slightly capped performance, which isn't a big deal, but you do notice it in benchmarks. I mean, the numbers are good, but yep, the iQOO 13 scores higher with almost the same specs in different benchmark tests, although like I said, the difference isn't huge. Having said that, maybe it's the CPU throttling app or maybe it's the phone, but I tried running the test multiple times and the graph very quickly goes red. It's also not hitting the performance numbers you'd expect from 8 Elite. And by the way, this is all running on the high performance mode, and I even checked the temperature, it's all very normal. Now, I'm not sure what's the reason for this, but I haven't noticed any performance issues. I mean, I've been using this phone as my primary phone, and there hasn't been a moment when I found this phone slowing down or lagging. There's also no bugs or anything. Everything is super snappy. I've also been gaming a lot on this, and the performance is top notch. No weird lag or frame drops even after continuous gaming after hours, which I did to test if there's any throttling in day-to-day usage. And unlike a lot of phones that throttle, this does not heat up like crazy or randomly. Yes, the phone does warm up when running benchmarks, but a more practical test is gaming, and I only noticed the frame getting warmer when playing Grid Legends for an hour or so. I also did a 45-minute BGMI test where I ran the game at 120 FPS, and the game was smooth and lag-free all the time. And what's crazy is that the phone got mildly warm around the frame area, but that's all, no heating at all. Now, a lot of credit for this smooth performance also goes to the software. I mean, OxygenOS 15 based around 15 is clean, no bloatware, and this will get 4 OS updates with 5 years of security patches, which is great. Not world-beating, but great. And I really like the new OxygenOS 15 update. I mean, it tries to mimic a few things from the OG OxygenOS, but more importantly, this OxygenOS, aka ColorOS, has come a long way. It's great in terms of animations. I mean, you notice so many subtle animations when you use it. It's packed with customization options. There's circle search, a ton of AI features like this AI reflection eraser, which is kind of okay. This AI detail boost, which is great for older photos. And yeah, we did a detailed video on OxygenOS 15, so check that out if you want to know more about this new update. Now, I know you've been waiting for this, so let's talk about the cameras. So the primary camera is the same as last year, the 50-megapixel Sony LYT-808 sensor with a wide f1.6 aperture, OIS. The ultra-wide-angle camera goes to 50 megapixel from 48 megapixel, and this has a wider field of view. And lastly, there's a new 50-megapixel periscope telephoto lens down from a 64-megapixel sensor, but yeah, we all know megapixels don't matter. And this is a periscope lens, but don't worry if you don't see the usual rectangular periscope design, because this uses a new triple prism periscope design, which just makes the conventional L-shaped tunnel periscope system smaller and lighter. Now, that apart, there are some interesting new camera features here. There's these new smart scenes here for stage shots, silhouette, fireworks, and this is present in both photos and videos, so it should be great for those Diljit concerts and celebrations. All the cameras in the OnePlus 13 also have this new dual exposure feature to capture better shots of moving objects. Basically, in OnePlus 13, a shot is a binned version of 2 shots at long and short exposures taken in real time, and I did find it making a difference in all lenses, as you can see from these shots. The shutter is also fast here, but this dual exposure feature is set to take better, sharper burst shots as well. This apart, all the cameras here can shoot 4K 60fps, Dolby Vision HDR videos, yes, even the front camera. In fact, you can even switch between all the rear cameras when shooting a video in 4K 60fps with Dolby Vision turned on. There's more, the ultra steady mode now supports 4K 60fps, which is great, but let's talk about the camera quality. See, the main camera remains really really good. Be it in daytime or low light, the photos from the primary camera look well exposed with good details, rich colors. The dynamic range is excellent too, almost all times. Now I did notice the camera sometimes brightening a shot for maybe a more social media ready look, but that apart, this is pretty solid. I mean, it gives you the feeling that you can take good shots with it, and that's what you want. Even the ultra wide angle camera captures good details and does a fairly good job in terms of matching the colors from the main camera. The 3x optical zoom in the periscope lens is solid too, especially in daytime. I mean, the shots are sharp and nice, and even the 3x portrait mode shots look very good in good lighting with good edge detection, nice skin tone. It's only in the dark that it kind of falters away. And as for the digital zoom over 3x, it does its job, but it's obviously not as good, not as sharp as something like the vivo X200 Pro. The telephoto lens also has the tele macro feature, and this is great. I mean, the autofocus and depth of field both are much better on these macro shots compared to wide angle macros. In terms of videos, I have been recording a lot of videos from the OnePlus 13, and I think the primary camera here does a very good job. The stability is spot on, there's no weird frame drops or stutter when panning, the video looks smooth, and it's good in terms of colors and details too, be it in daytime or low light. Now, the selfie camera is one area, but I think this could have been better. I mean, no autofocus even in 2025 on a premium phone is a shame, and while it does capture good selfies in good light, in low light it kind of goes decentish. Look, I like the cameras on the OnePlus 13 so far, and if you're wondering how does it do in comparison, I did take some comparison shots versus the iPhone 16, so just see this and let me know what you guys think. And let me know if you want a detailed comparison versus say the iPhone 16 or the iQOO 13. Connectivity wise, this has dual SIM slots, but there is also eSIM support, which is great. And it's also the first phone in India to work with Jio to support 5.5G, although we are yet to test that out. This also has NFC, Wi-Fi 7, Bluetooth 5.4, the usual, and I had no issues with it in terms of network or call. Look, OnePlus flagships have always been kind of the affordable flagships, even before iQOO came along. And I know there are rumors of a price bump this year, but even with the price bump, its price will be at a better spot when compared to the Pixels and the Samsungs. So even if this goes to say 68K, 69K, I'd say the upgrades here are pretty solid. Look, I personally like the new design, and IP68, 69 was much needed, especially when you're calling your phone a flagship. OnePlus also hopefully fixed the green line issues once and for all. The cameras are mostly very good, performance seems solid if you don't care about raw numbers, and unlike the Pixels and the Samsungs, you get the charger, you get the case in the box. Yes, it's not beating the Ultras and the Pros of the world, especially in terms of say brightness in the screen or some aspects of the camera, but for its price, it should be pretty bang on. Now, I hope I have answered all of your questions on the OnePlus 13 throughout the video, but if you still have any more questions, maybe for the OnePlus 13, maybe regarding your personal life, I'll be happy to answer them in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe because the OnePlus 13R is an interesting phone. And thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Yeah.